Beautiful. I'm Tony Fine, your Fine Fit sister, and I'm going to teach you how to make a traditional macaroni and cheese versus a lower calorie and lactose-free macaroni and cheese. Now, why would we be doing lactose-free? Because about 80% of African Americans and Native Americans are lactose intolerant. So we're usually eating this really delicious stuff that is binding us up. So I want to show you a lower calorie version that's also going to be so guilt-free. So this traditional macaroni and cheese, which is actually a family recipe, I'm going to use some Velveeta, right? Some Sharp cheese, a stick of butter, 2 eggs, evaporated milk, an entire can, half to 1 cup of whole milk, and noodles. That's all this recipe requires. It's actually pretty simple and on the lower calorie side. So we don't use a ton of cheeses in my family, but this is more than enough to get the party going. We're gonna do a taste test and we'll see, does the new and improved version taste nearly as good as the original? And to top off this macaroni and cheese on this side, we're going to use an entire bag of mild cheddar cheese. So at the end, if you stay with us, I'll tell you exactly how many calories is in one piece of this versus how many is in one piece of this. So hopefully that will open up our minds right before we get to the Thanksgiving and holiday season, that the foods that we know and love are so delicious. However, this may be the reason why we're not getting to our goals. And if we switch them out for a couple other items, we can get to our goals and still eat delicious food. So let's see. So for our macaroni, we use standard elbow. If you use something else, I mean, you might not be an OG in the game. So this is some standard macaroni, and we used about 8 to 10 ounces for each platter. I don't use a ton of macaroni because you want the flavor in the other pieces. So first I'm going to, even with my higher calorie option, I still like to use spray oil in the pan so it won't get stuck. And this is some avocado spray, but you can use any spray that you like. Goodie. Now we're gonna pour in our noodles. Beautiful. Oh, excellent, that looks great. And they've already been salted to taste while they were cooking. After that, it is just an adding game. Now I go in and I add all my ingredients. This is really the easiest part. It's gonna be the fastest macaroni and cheese you ever make. First, we're gonna start with 2 whole eggs. And then we're going to cut up the entire butter. We're gonna cut up our butter and put it throughout. See, this for me is gonna be unnecessary calories. Taking an entire stick of butter, which is almost 1,000 calories, just adding it as extra fat, while it feels like a good idea, it is really, really, really not where I want to spend my calories. And I know what you're saying. Why are you thinking about that? It's Thanksgiving. I'm thinking about that because I used to eat this Thanksgiving food every single day. So are you honestly only eating this on Thanksgiving, or did you just have it last week and the week before and the week before? Don't use Thanksgiving as an excuse to overeat. You definitely want to enjoy your family and your friends and then live to enjoy another day. So here I am with the Sharp Cheddar Cheese, and I'm doing the same thing. Cutting it up into smaller pieces. And then now we're going to do the Velveeta cheese. And with the Velveeta cheese, it's the same. Gonna cut it into a bunch of small pieces and kind of put it throughout. And then put the Velveeta cheese in there. The longer it sits out, the more tacky it gets. So you don't want it to sit out too long. Now, for half a cup to 1 cup of milk, usually we'll do this by eyesight. So I'll do half a cup initially, and then we see how that gets to going, and then we'll go ahead and put in more if necessary. But while using an entire cup of evaporated milk, that might not be necessary. And I've made this macaroni and cheese a time or two. It's really, really good. It's really, really good. I'm not even gonna stunt. I'm not gonna stunt. So of course, when you're on the other side of having a healthy relationship with food, you'll find that you do not eat these things as often. But when you do decide to eat these things for Thanksgiving or for a special occasion, I want you to know what really goes into it calorie-wise. So when you have these meals, you can just eat smaller portions of them. Because usually with my macaroni and cheese, I'll have to make 2 or 3 platters because everyone will get 2, 3, 4 pieces. And we'll talk about the calories at the end, but eating that level is definitely gonna be too much. So for this seasoning, we keep it simple, just some black pepper. I've already salted the noodles and the butter has salt in it, but I'm gonna add a little bit more of the pink Himalayan salt. I just like the way that tastes. And now it is time to do the old mixeroo. You wanna distribute the mac and cheese chunks throughout so everybody can have a bite, a chunk in each and every single bite. And it's sounding like the real thing. I hope you guys can hear this. It's got the macaroni and cheese sound. That's what you want out of macaroni and cheese, and you'll see that even the other one has that sound. Alrighty, this is good enough. Now all I want to do is distribute the cheese all throughout and make sure it is nice and even. No high spots, no high spots. So to finish it off, I'm gonna finish with a mild cheddar bag of cheese. This bag of cheese, everyone likes a really hard crust, and that's how you get it with this bag of cheese. You can grate the cheese yourself. That's probably the best thing to do, but again, I'm lazy, so I'm not gonna do all of that. Okay, wow, look at us. No high spots, no low spots, just perfect. And that is our super high calorie, traditional, and family recipe macaroni and cheese. Gonna put over some foil, put it in the oven at 350 for about an hour, and then take off the foil and then watch it cook and begin to bubble. And then we'll taste. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and make our other low calorie, extremely delicious. Alrighty, so here we have our 2 macaroni and cheeses. Now, if you know anything, you know this is just the first step. These 2 need to go back. Oh yeah, look at all that crazy cheese. After it's cooked, then we put it back into the oven and then we finish so we can get that beautiful brown top. So look at the difference here. We can see oil, but there's no other way to call it. You can actually see the oil just bubble to the top and also on the creases versus this one. You can't see the oil all over the place. This is gonna be a lot less calories for you. So in that way, a lot healthier for you. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish these up for you so we can do a taste test. But both of them look incredible. These entire containers can be split, I would say, safely into about 10 pieces. So let us do the ultimate test of the cheese pull. Delicious. So creamy. And here we go with the that is just so much heavier. That's your standard mac and cheese. Alrighty, so let's taste test. Something like this, most African Americans are lactose intolerant to, which means you're gonna get bloating, inflammation, cystic acne, versus this, that is lactose free. So that's gonna be a lot better for your body to digest. So let's taste test it. Alrighty, so here is the first bite of the lactose free mac and cheese. That is extremely cheesy. That's an awesome white cheese macaroni and cheese. I ain't even lying to you, that's hitting. I'm gonna take another bite. Why? Because it's guilt-free. It's so little calories that I can eat as much as I want. Not that much. That was really good, but the first one didn't taste so much different. I thought it was gonna be like way better. But all of the cheese is actually diluting the taste. I can taste more here versus here. This is just cheese, and then almost instantly I start to feel clogged up, kind of like mucus is running through me all of a sudden. So all in all, this macaroni and cheese tastes good. It doesn't make me feel bad. It just looks different. So if you don't like the way it looks, definitely go with the yellow cheese. But that's it. Which one would you guys choose?